Living with Lolita, grab a notebook and a pen. It's not about where you start, but how you end. There is no topic that can't be discussed. This platform is open, no need to hush.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Lolita and welcome to another episode of Living with Lolita. I am so excited today to have my special guest, Coco. Her name is actually Courtney. I call her Coco because she is my Coco. But yeah, so today what we're going to talk about is love and relationships after divorce. And we have Coco here to spill the beans.
I guess I would try to keep it interesting as possible. Hello, everybody.
Thank you, first of all, for coming to my humble abode. I appreciate you. Disclaimer, I was feeling really bad this week. And she's been here all week trying to make her way over here. And I'm like, nah, I'm not. I don't want to do it. But she was like, no, I'm going to come anyway. This morning, actually, she was like, you're not about to sit in the house alone. Like, I'm coming to see you. That's not even the topic, but I just wanted to just make that known because she don't take no for an answer. But at least she got me to put my wig on and throw some red lipstick on. So we just gonna get started. Okay, love and relationships after divorce. We both been married before, obviously divorced. But Courtney is in a new relationship. So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you. It's been really great.
I love this for you. But you know that. Even from day one. I love this for you. But how long were you married?
I was married for 3 years before we got divorced. And I didn't this would be my first official, serious relationship since then. And that happened, it's been 7 years since then. I dated off and on during that time, but...
I said, girl, he's going through a drought.
Oh, no. I dated off and on during that time, but this is, my first, okay, this is my actual boyfriend, this is my actual partner. We're actually in a relationship. This is the first time since then. So it's been a really good ride. It's been really, really nice. He's a sweetie pie. I actually love that guy. He's great.
I actually love that guy. You know, I'm gonna try to throw that look. I actually love that guy. Girl, go ahead and just say, I love him.
I love him. I do.
Amen, sister. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Tell the truth, okay? So what do you think was the difference between this relationship and your marriage? Was there a comparison? Did you compare, first of all?
Of course you compare. But believe it or not, my answer to that is not the two of them. The difference between my relationship with my ex-husband and him is me. I am a completely different person than who I was when I first got married. My ideas of a relationship, my ideas of what a man of God is and what it is and what it means to be in a relationship is completely different from night and day. Now, as far as the two of them, they are night and day from each other. They have same qualities as far as being a busybody and just very on top of things and up real early in the morning doing stuff. But yeah, that part. I wake up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and y'all done already washed the car, went to work, did something, worked that, all this extra stuff. So yeah, they are busybodies in that kind of way.
Can't call them lazy.
No, not at all. They will get up and get some stuff done, and that goes for the both of them. But as far as the type of men they are, night and day. The first one is not a really nice person at all.
Was he nice to you or just not nice in general?
He was not nice in general. He has some narcissistic tendencies. I'm not going to say he's a narcissist, but he does definitely have some narcissistic tendencies, and he's not the easiest person in the world to get along with. Across the board, not just with me. There's a lot of people got issues with him, but on the flip side, my new relationship he's like the kindest guy I've ever met in my life. Like literally my son's biggest compliment to him is he wants to be more kind like he is.
Oh.
So, you know.
Where are the tissues?
It's the little things. Guys, just see, this is where I love him.
I love that because I'm not trying to throw your business out there, but when you came to my house some months ago, I was actually upstairs working, and she was going to come over to work also, and I was looking out the window, and y'all, this man had got out of the driver's seat to go to the passenger seat to put lotion on her feet. Like he did not want his baby to be ashy walking in somebody's house. I love that. I love the attentiveness. You know what I'm saying? And the caring and the thoughtfulness. You know what I'm saying? I love that.
He definitely is that and has been that and consistently stays that way. He does have an issue with ashiness. He don't do that. And you know,
good
backstory about that whole situation on the way here. He was just like driving. He happened to notice my feet, and he was like, so I'm gonna put lotion on your feet when you get to this thing.
Girl, you like, stay with ashy feet. What is going on? Oh my God.
And I was like, I put lotion. I did forget to put lotion on my feet. And he was like, no, I'm gonna put it on you before you. Yeah, and I was like, I can put it on myself. He's like, I'm gonna put lotion on your feet when I get here because you're not going in this house with no ashy feet. Embarrassing.
Amen, brother. Thank you.
He don't play that. Ashiness is against his religion or something. He does not play that at all. That is one thing he will. At least he's like, I'm not even gonna count on you to lotion you. I'm gonna ensure you got on lotion.
I love it. I love it. So I'm saying, like, how did you? First of all, do you feel like you're in love?
Yes.
You do?
For sure.
When did you know? When did you have that feeling?
I had that feeling of I'm in love with him but it's gonna sound extremely cheesy, but for me, I've always like, you know, when people say stuff like, oh, I hear a song and it made me think about you, or I did this and such and it makes me think about you. I've never, like, I've been in different relationships with people that I've loved, but I realized that I'm not quite sure if I've ever genuinely been in love before, because it was never really like, I can hear songs that remind me of them, but it's typically like the drama around it and not necessarily like how a person actually makes me feel.
Yes.
And it was like I heard several different songs just randomly, and it was like, oh, this made me, am I in love, Lord? Is this love?
She in love.
So, you know, but, and then it was also like, what actually made me realize more than the song was the fact that I feel safe with him. And
that's important.
The first time that we got into a situation where it was just in getting to know each other, and he responded in a way that kind of triggered me because, of course, you got triggers and stuff. And we talked to it, we communicate very, very well. But the thing that really made me feel like I was in love with him was the fact that when we went through that situation, I was more afraid of losing the safety that I had with him than, you know, fighting at all. And so it was like, this is the first person that outside of God that has actually made me feel safe. And so my heart feels safe with him, my mind feels safe with him, my spirit is safe with him. And it's just been an amazing experience. And I think that's when I realized, you know, I love him, and the fact that he does lotion me up a lot. He does.
Come on, lotion.
He does. I'm not gonna be out here ashy in these streets. Not on his watch.
You mentioned God. How much does that play in your relationship?
100%. Both of us are very serious about having God be in the middle, above, around, intertwined. We are both loved by God deeply. God has made that crystal clear to the both of us. What he is not about to do is play any kind of games with either one of us. He has done a lot of work of healing and restoring us both from the damage that's been done in our lives and in past relationships. And God is very adamant about keeping us safe with each other. Like that has literally been my command with God. Keep him safe. And that means even from me. So, you know, there is no, oh, I'm going to mistreat him in any kind of way, because if I do that, it hurt. Not only does it hurt me, but then God is like, so what we doing? Because not my son, we're not doing that. And not my daughter, we're not doing that. So we are very much focused on making sure that God is in the midst of it, because God is the one that's really helping and guiding us on how to see each other and how to, you know, when he doesn't know certain things about me or how to deal with me, he prays about it. He asks God what I need, and he listens and he does it, and vice versa. So yeah, God is all up and through that thing, because he's all up and through both of our lives individually.
Come on, Jesus.
But I didn't want to go back to like the very first question you asked me about like what was the difference, and I mentioned when I mentioned me. So with my marriage, at that time in my life, I realized that all of that, you know, just went together with my whole walk with God and my ideas of God himself and my ideas of what marriage was and the person that I was at that time. I went into the situation being super Christian. I'm going to do all of the things that they tell you should do. I'm not going to live together before marriage. I'm not going to have sex before marriage. I met my ex-husband at church. He literally proposed to me at church. We got married. We with all of our church members. And my idea at that time of a man of God was Jesus as a man. Now, I had my own walk in my own personal relationship with God well before I even knew my ex-husband. And God was in that developing, getting to know him stage. But we hadn't really gotten to the part of where he starts to fix me. So I was in a place of doing all of the right things. Because they tell you, oh, you're faithful and you're here, you're in church, you know that God is going to give. If you do these things, then God is going to do this. And so we find ourselves getting in situations where it is not the best thing at all to be in. But if my heart is after God and I am trying my hardest to do what's pleasing to him, and if I do what's pleasing to him, then I'll receive this. It keeps you in stuff that you probably shouldn't be in. So when I go into this situation and I am now faced with the most difficult, hardest, heartbreaking, abusive, hurtful situation I've ever been in my life, and God does not fix it. He does not turn it around. He sustains me. He absolutely keeps me, and then eventually he does deliver me. But at that time, I am a part of several ministries. I am praying for other people's marriages who are still together to this day. Y'all welcome. And, you know, but mine was falling apart. And so, you know, I am here in this place where I'm young. I barely know who I am. I don't know myself. I haven't really done the work of becoming a whole person. I'm coming into this thing with my own naive expectations, my own willingness to, you know, what I'm willing to give, my own lack of understanding, my own issues and insecurities, and expecting a broken man to fill voids in me that only God can do. And he's wrestling with a lifetime of stuff he's never dealt with in his life. And we are combining all of that chaos with children and thinking we gonna make this thing work. And it was a disaster, to say the least. But it almost robbed me of my relationship with God. Like once I finally was delivered out of this situation, I was so angry with God, because I was like, why would you allow this? Like, my whole point of coming to you was the fact that I had been abused in my life and I wanted to feel safe with you. And you would allow me to go through this devastating thing, and now I'm empty. And I was told if I did this, then you would do this, and that didn't happen. And blah, blah, blah. So you know what? I'm going to go wild out.
I'm going to say, so after your marriage, you just went crazy? Listen, let me tell you something. So
It's for the streets. I'm not gonna lie. It's for the streets.
sis was for the streets, okay? She was
It's out there. Sorry.
but she a changed woman.
Change,
She a
definitely.
changed woman.
Definitely changed.
I feel like when I was married, my ex-husband did a lot of, just like buying me things. You know what I'm saying? So when things went wrong, he would just, buy me something or whatever, and then I was just gonna get over it. I ain't gonna lie, I did fall for it.
Yeah.
Plenty of times.
Yeah.
I stayed for a minute. But we didn't have a foundation really when we got married.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like, I'll be honest, I was pregnant, he wanted to get married. I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, just because I'm pregnant don't mean we have to get married.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I know how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that's before I, found God. Like, I believed in God. I've always believed in God. But, like, my relationship, of course, has grown, But then I noticed, like, during our marriage, I would go to church. He may go sometimes, but he wasn't really going the way I was going, and I felt like he was just doing it for a facade, you know what I'm saying? So people can just see, us with the kids and, we're going to church and whatever. But when we got a divorce, I dated someone younger, much younger. And I really never have done that before. Yeah. Like, the young was young, okay? Yeah. And this person, I let him do things that I had already said I would not let anybody do, right? So at some point in time, I cut that relationship off, and some time went past, and I started dating somebody older, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I could have loved this person, and that was right before I moved here. But I felt like, oh, this person treats me so good. I feel like he's in tune with me. We pray, like we'll sit, like he'll cook. It was just a lot of things that he did that I didn't have in my past relationship or even in my marriage. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm like, dang, I'm feeling like, I'm feeling a little soft. You know what I'm saying? The girl getting a little soft.
Ooh, that's hard.
And but when I moved, he couldn't handle the fact that I was moving, although I was honest in the beginning. Yeah. And that hurt my feelings. Like that hurt my feelings because I was like, well, man, I told you in the beginning, I was moving, and if you didn't want to do this, then you didn't have to keep initiating me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you didn't have to, like, you could have stopped where you were, but you felt like you wanted to keep going until it got closer and closer. Then he kept getting further and further. He wasn't treating me mean. Yeah. He was just being more distant, and we would have conversations. We talked, we laughed. We really didn't have, we really didn't argue. Yeah. We may have had like a disagreement, but it wasn't like, oh, we going back and forth, Like, it wasn't that type of relationship. But I will say that probably was like one of my better relationships since I've been divorced. Even to the point where one day when I lived in Tampa, he called me on the phone. He was like, come outside. And so I'm looking through the peephole. I was like, well, I don't see you out there. Girl opened up the door, and he has 3 different bouquets of flowers sitting on my doorstep, and he's not even there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, I just wanted you to know, I was thinking about you. I was at the store today or whatever, and I just wanted to give you these, But then right after that, like I said, that distance was growing. I'm like, you just got me, you just got me flowers. Don't. And I just feel like I said that the relationship was really good, but at this point, I'm looking for somebody who can handle all of me. Right. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody to love all of me. I need somebody to be in tune with me, and vice versa, but also to believe in God, and for us to go to church together, for us to pray together, you know what I'm saying? For us to just have a foundation, things that I didn't have before. What do you think that you're looking for at this point? Yes. Or do you think that you found it?
I think I found it, but I am looking for, I'm sorry,
Clink.
I like that guy still. No, but I think that, what I am looking for is a person who, we have the same core values, like the things that matters to me that are like the deal breakers. I want us to be on the same page with that. So it's not conflict. How we can be opposite in a lot of different ways. And as long as we know how to navigate those opposite things and maybe just play by the strong, if you're strong in this, I follow your lead, and vice versa. Like he's willing to follow my lead in things that I'm better at. But I think that from an emotional place, where he and I is concerned, is that we both went through a lot of hardship, a lot of hurt and pain from relationships and things like that, from just having a big heart and trying to love people who were hard to love. I'm not going to say not worthy of love, because everybody's worthy of love, but just was hard to love. And, you know, we two had what my therapist calls it a white knight syndrome, where you just want to save people and that kind of stuff. I have a problem with that, guys. Sorry. But
girl, me too, child.
Yeah, he's the same way. So with us trying to navigate in this new space of both of us wanting to keep the peace and wanting to build and being on the same page with the things that matters to us as far as our foundation, it has been working out. However, if we are not open about it, we both have the tendency, or we both present an opportunity to not deal with real things, just trying to keep the peace. So luckily, with my overly confrontational self, I am obviously I run up on friends. Sorry,
obviously.
Exhibit A. So you know, I try to keep us honest. Like I you know, like I said, back to the safety piece. We both feel very safe with each other, and that is our priority, to keep each other safe. And I need him to know that how he feels, even in disagreements, even in things that's right or not right, he's safe to express those things without having to deal with, I guess, consequences, or not necessarily consequences, because depending on what it is, consequences are necessary.
He don't want to hear your mouth, child.
You're right. But, you know, I think that we are just in a place where, you know, I want to keep you safe with your feelings. You can be vulnerable here. You can cry here. You can be soft here. I understand you got to go out into the world and be a man and do all the stuff you need to do. But when you're here with me in this safe space, and vice versa, even if you're upset with me, tell me you're upset. Like, you don't have to actually hide that. You can just say, we can discuss you being upset without you having to be disrespectful, without you having to fight. And I feel like people only fight and do that kind of stuff when they don't feel heard and they don't feel safe.
That part.
Because if you can just express how you feel, and you're talking to a person that's actually listening to understand, and then they tell you and they get it and they put in work, what is there to fight about? It's only when you're listening, when you're talking and you're saying the same thing, and a person is gaslighting you and they're not listening and they're making it more than what it is, that's when things get difficult.
Right.
But I think that, you know, what we found so far is a good, healthy balance of, you know, when to talk, how to talk, and reassuring and assuring and reassuring that you're safe, and, you know, being sensitive and gracious about each other's triggers, understanding that we both have past, understanding that, you know, okay, what I will say is the difference in this relationship from my past ones is I don't want or need him to be me. Before, I wanted a person to act like me or think like me or do what I would do, and like, how come you just don't get this, and why does
but
this?
that's natural, because people do think like that. Yeah, sometimes I think like that even now. I'm like, no, I need you to do what I would have done. And
I'm finally at a place in my own life outside of him, and I got to that place before he even came to be, of having grace for me and accepting other people as they are, and understanding that they don't think like me, they don't act like me, and to be honest, I don't want to be in a relationship with me. If that's the case, I don't need another me. I need someone that is enough like me that we can get along and we can have fun, and, you know, we're not constantly battling each other, but oftentimes the battle comes from trying to change who that person is, and trying to make them like you. You know, we have plenty of things in common, but in the things that we're not, what I have found in this relationship that is different from others is, instead of it being like, for example, I don't mind doing laundry. I'll wash clothes all day long, but hanging up clothes and folding up clothes or ironing, I do not want to do that. That's not my ministry. I do not like it at all. Okay. And so the first time I told him that, he was just like, oh, I love folding our clothes, and I love hanging our clothes, and I love ironing. And I was like, great, oh, okay, cool. And I braced myself to be like, well, why you don't want to do that? And what kind of woman? And he was just like, okay, well, then you wash and I'll fold. And I,
Right.
hold on, what?
So that's compromise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's compromise. Something you don't want to do that, fortunately, he wants to do.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and
So
he likes
can,
it.
like, me. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I'll say, in the relationship that I had before I moved here, he likes sports. I really don't like sports. I'm not gonna lie. Sports, that ain't my ministry, okay? But he wanted to go to an actual game, and he asked me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go. Go for the experience, but I actually enjoyed myself while I was there. You know what I'm saying? But it was compromise because, yeah, that's something I don't want to do. But if it's something I had to think about when there are things that I don't want to do, he said, like, okay, no, we can go do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know he don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I know he don't want to sit there and watch me do this and that, you know, but he'll do it and he don't complain. In my marriage, that was different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There wasn't a compromise. You know, it was either you're going to do this, or we just gonna argue about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's things now that right now I'm not actually dating anyone. I'm not in a relationship, but like I said, there's things at this point that I'm looking for whenever he comes around. There's things that I'm looking for that I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I want to feel safe too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to feel that I'm heard. When I say things, I don't want you to think I'm just always trying to argue with you.
Yeah.
I don't like when I ask a question and someone is like, why are you trying to start an argument?
Right.
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah,
I'm just really just asking a question. And I like to communicate. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the person needs to have that also. But I do think they need to be understanding, as well as myself. Because I know I can be short-tempered. Sometimes, you know, I might have a lot going on and I'm like, I don't want to hear you. But even being alone, there's certain things that I see, you know, or certain things that I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that again. Or I'm going to try not to do that. I can't say that I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to try to work harder at myself, you know what I'm saying? So when the right person comes along, we will work, we will mesh, you know?
I noticed that even with, you know, in my divorce, during that time that I was just out here, really didn't want a relationship, was just doing whatever I wanted. That time happened for a little bit, and then I worked everything out with God, and I got back on, okay, Lord, do the work in me so that, you know, I can have the thing that you were promising in a man. But I found that during that process of being single, it's a lot of things that were an issue in my marriage that is not an issue at all with the right man. So when I start to, when I used to think about, I'm gonna have to change this about myself because this person, you know, felt like I talked too much, and this person felt like I did this and this, that, and third, and I realized that I probably shouldn't have to do this, and I didn't have to do that, and I da-da-da-da-da. It is a fine line between certain behaviors that really do need to go. If you are extremely argumentative, or a person cannot talk to you because you are combative and you want to fight about everything, and that is a track record in every one of your relationships, and the common denominator is you do need to do some self-work on those things, and God can show you those areas that really need to be worked on. But the danger that I found is in trying to work on things based off of the wrong person relationship with you. Because the issues that they had with you may be a blessing to somebody else, and it's not a problem at all.
Oh, preach, sister.
And sometimes that the things that you thought that you shouldn't do is exactly what you should be doing over here, because you're with the right person to do that with. And then most of it is really from a level of maturity. If you have not actually taken time to grow yourself, like I said, before Elijah even came into the picture, I was whole. This is the first relationship I've ever been in my entire life where I do not need him to be anything. Like, I don't need him to feel any kind of voids. Every other thing in my life was, I got daddy issues, I need somebody to feel that. I got insecurities. I need you to feel this way.
That's so good.
I got God. I got an empty God complex, and my identity around Him needs to be filled. So I need you to tell me what that is. My view on who God is Himself. I need you to show me who God is through you. It was me looking for other people to feel voids that only God can feel. And until He actually filled it all, I am able to be in this situation and be my whole, most authentic self and make my decisions based off of wholeness and truth of what I'm seeing and what I'm not. If he wasn't what I needed, I'm in a place now where, because I'm not in need, I can say, he's a nice guy, but he's not for me. That's hard to say, because if you're a person like me who had that complex of wanting to save people all the time, my instincts and everything about me, everything in me would tell me this is not wrong. I mean, this is not right, but I would spend the rest of the time trying to prove myself wrong and end up proving myself right every time, just because I needed to fill a void of being needed, or I needed to fill a void of being some kind of helper. And so I stayed in situations way longer than I was supposed to, regardless of what they was doing, but because it was filling a need in me. Their brokenness was filling a need in me. And I stayed longer than I was supposed to. But now, in this space and time in my life where I am whole, I know exactly who I am. I don't need him to add to that in a way of feeling something, but I do need him to add to that in maintaining it and keeping it up and making it grow. Yes. You're gonna meet me here, we're gonna go up here. You're not gonna come in here and be like, oh, you're whole. Okay, well, let me punch some holes into you. We're not doing that. Right. In either direction, you know. Right. So if we can't meet each other where we are and grow from there, you're not the person for me. Even though you might be a great guy, and you may not need to change much at all about yourself, but you're just not the person for me, because it is emptying me to be with you. And we don't know how to walk away sometimes unless it's devastating.
Yep, I was just going to say that sometimes we just sit there. You know what I'm saying? We don't leave. And sometimes it's just because some people just don't want to be lonely. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't want to be by themselves. Some people don't want to take the time to get to know themselves, you know what I'm saying, and what you actually really like instead of what the other person likes. It's almost like sometimes people conform to what the other person likes, you know what I'm saying, and it's like, I don't even really like this, but I'm liking it because you like it, you know what I'm saying, and it's like you want to act how they act, you want to behave how they behave, you want to just enjoy what they enjoy, and you don't have to do that. Like,
it becomes exhausting.
It's so exhausting,
and you can't maintain it, and then that's why relationships fail, because the foundation is on a lie.
At some point it gets old.
It does. And then trying to build anything when you can't be your most authentic self, you're adding extra weight that doesn't even need to be there. And your foundation is already shoddy before you even get started. Right. So it's not like shoddy. It's gonna fail. Period. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Does not matter. Even if the person you with is the most perfect, ideal person. Even if everything about them is absolutely great and is an absolute godsend. But if you are not being your true, authentic self, then you don't know if that person is perfect for you or not.
Absolutely.
They might be a perfect person for a person that can be themselves and find them perfect. But if you got to be something else in order for them to be perfect, they're not the perfect person for you.
They ain't it.
They ain't it.
Next. That is exactly, girl. Yes. And this is why I got her on today, y'all, because this girl be talking about so much stuff. She thinks she know everything about everything, right?
I don't. I know,
but it'd be so good though.
I know.
But it'd be so good though. Like, really, it do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or it does. Let me speak properly. It does. Okay.
No, I just know. I know the things that I know, like from the things that I've lived and the things that I've learned.
Yeah, I'm gonna say experience
about myself, and like I said. The main thing to your very first question, the thing that changed was me. And my desires, my wants, my identity, my insecurities, my ideals of relationship with God, that changed drastically. That is intact. My identity of who I am, what I bring to the table, what I like, what I don't. Now, is there still triggers and insecurities and stuff that I deal with? Yeah. But the fear of being happy is something that was brand new in this situation, because if you are used to, what is it called? I was going to say self-destructing. That is not it at all. The word is when you are used to self-sabotaging. And happiness seems foreign to you because you've been in so much mess. Sometimes when you actually find the right thing, it seems like it's wrong, because how dare it be? How dare I be happy? Who am I to be?
Why does this feel
happy?
so good?
Or
Like
you're sitting there like,
something's gonna go wrong
so how
any
long?
minute.
All right, because I see what this is for now, but all right, Tuesday, and just to say I do it, and it's like, why? You know, I had to wrestle with myself. Like, being loved well was hard for me. Like, it really was. And I'm just like, well, what you want? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was a very difficult thing in being in something healthy, because if you've been in unhealthy situations, healthiness seems weird. And sometimes, even though something is healthy and good for you, there's still more comfort in your chaos than in the healthy situation. And you are prone to want to self-sabotage and bring some extra toxic stuff in here just to feel comfortable. Like, if you're not comfortable with being in a very clean house, you're going to make sure you leave a dish in the sink. You might not destroy the whole house, but you're going to make sure you didn't hang your clothes up, or you're going to do something to make the house not be perfectly clean. And it's like, that can destroy a relationship though. Because if you have something that's healthy, and in order for you to function, you have to be in something toxic, you're going to destroy everything, because for whatever reason, toxicity overshadows healthiness.
It do.
Way too
Why
fast.
do we like it?
I don't know.
It's almost like, oh, we addicted to the toxicity.
We are.
Why?
Because it is comfortable.
Yeah.
It is what we're used to. Whether it's right or not. It's kind of like having the complex where a person gets kidnapped and they actually start liking their kidnapper and that kind of stuff. So it's like you end up hating the thing that you are the most comfortable with and most familiar with, and trying to do something other than that just feels foreign, because also we like to do stuff easy. Being toxic is easy. Being healthy is not.
Right.
I had to think about somebody else. Ugh, like that itch. I don't like it.
Look, I wanna jump back. Sorry to interrupt, but I wanna jump back to the self-sabotage, right? Because I also feel like in the relationship that I had before, like I don't know why I do this about myself. I might walk around like I'm so confident, you know what I'm saying? But I get in my house and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I be picking myself apart. And he will come over and be like, no, this is what you need to do. In the morning when you wake up, you go to that mirror and say, I'm a bad bee. I said, I'm not saying that. He was like, no, you need to say, I'm a bad bee. And I was like, I'm not. That's corny. I'm not saying that. But girl, how about I wake up in the morning and talking about, girl, you bad, okay? You bad, okay? But it's like, I feel like he boosted me up in such a way that I did not have before. You know what I'm saying? He boosted me up in such a way, I was able to look at myself with like, girl, it don't matter. Like, you picking yourself apart about these things, you know what I'm saying? But somebody likes all of your imperfections. They love all of your imperfections. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you let yourself sabotage you? Like, you're over here like, oh, I don't like this about myself. And the other person, like, sometimes that person does not like that. Like, don't like the fact that you over here picking yourself apart when he over here trying to call you beautiful and meaning it. And you're over here like, oh, I hate this about myself. Oh my God, my this is that and this is that. And look at, I got this and I got that. And I'm like, I know he's like, girl, I'm over it, child. Yeah, but it's almost like, I feel like sometimes I do that, or I've done that because of the situations that I've been in before. Like the majority, I'm not even lying, the majority of people that I've been in a relationship with, whether it's, you know, my marriage or just, you know, a boyfriend, girlfriend situation, have cheated. And it makes me feel like, dang, what is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, God, is something wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? Because it always can't be the other person. Right. So I'm over here thinking like, okay, what's wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? But then I run into this man, and he shows me something totally different about myself. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that. Now I'm sitting here talking about it to y'all, and I'm like, why? Like, I really could have loved this person. But it's so funny because we're still friends to this day, actually. And we spoke the other day, as a matter of fact, and you know, we still talked about like, you know, the relationship that we had, because it was good for my soul and it was good for his. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I mean, I know that's a part of my life that is over, you know, and I am looking forward to whatever is coming next. You know what I'm saying? I do feel like there's somebody, like I said before, that is made specifically for me, and I'm made specifically for them. You know what I'm saying? There's things that maybe before I dealt with that I know now, girl, you gotta put your doggone foot down, okay? Like, this is not, don't be giving no chances, like, because if the shoe was on the other foot, they probably wouldn't give you the same chance, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I just feel like, even in my marriage, like, we took vows, you know, yeah, girlfriend and boyfriend, I'm not saying it's different, but it's different, you know what I'm saying? We're not taking no vows.
It's definitely different.
When you're in a marriage, you're taking vows, you know what I'm saying? And for the person just to go totally opposite of those vows, like, mind boggles me, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that just took a minute, especially, I'm about to be real honest, when they over here cheating on you with people who look like, ants. I'll just say ants, okay? Because I don't want to say what I really want to say. But when they just looking like whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you over here just cheating with these people, and I'm waking up in the morning, I'm getting myself together, I'm making sure I look good for you, you know what I'm saying? Your house is clean, you got meals. And I feel like you just threw that away, you know what I'm saying? Like, you literally took that for granted. But with the person that is meant for me, I know that he is going to respect me. He's going to respect my children. I know that he is going to treat me like a queen, you know what I'm saying? And then my kids are going to have a good example of what a real relationship is supposed to be like. So that is basically what I look forward to. And like I said before, we're going to have a foundation, you know what I'm saying? God is going to be in the center, because I have grown from where, you know, when I was married to now. So yeah, like, I'm not trying to give, because people do try to holler, I'm not gonna lie, like, they be trying me, but I'm like, yeah, you ain't it. You definitely ain't it.
I remember the guy trying to holler at you at the gas station.
Girl, shut up, you got to my business. Girl, they be trying me at the gas station. They be trying me at the gas station. I don't even know why, no matter what I look like. It ain't safe. It ain't safe for a pimp. Like, it is not safe. But I just know now what to really, you know, look for and what to appreciate. You know, like I said, I know everything is not going to be roses, but I do know that there's going to be something great for me.
Yeah.
Like, there's something already great for you. Because I'm so happy that you found somebody, and that, well, he found you. You know what I'm saying? And y'all are just like, y'all mesh, like, y'all go together so well. You know what I'm saying?
That was going to happen.
I'm glad it happened, though. Like, yeah, like, sometimes people come when you least expect it.
Well, no, I mean, for me, it was like, I remember, like, God asked me to tell him, like, describe the man I want. And I was like,
I feel like I remember you telling me this.
I was like, I don't know. You know how weird I am, Lord? I am so complex. Like, I don't know what type of person is going to be able to deal with my spiritual self and how deep that goes and accept me for that and understand me there. Deal with the fact that I am also goofy as I don't know what, and I'm going to laugh and act a fool no matter what. Deal with the fact that I'm a boss and I'm going to, make money and do what I'm supposed to do and lead people. Deal with the fact that I am a people person and just, I'm so all over the place. Like, you just never, whatever. And
there is somebody for everybody, child.
Yeah, it is. And he was like, tell him what I want. And I was like, Lord, look, I don't even know what to tell you, bro. I really don't. I don't even know where to even begin. And he said, let the Holy Spirit word your mouth and open your mouth and say these things. And so I did. And I opened my mouth and I said all of these different things. Like, first and foremost, he's going to have to love you. He's gonna have to be funny. He's gonna have to be kind because I can't be with nobody that's mean. He's gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to find him attractive. Lord, please let me want this man every time I see him. Let him walk into the
easy
room.
on the eyes,
Let him
please.
be, let him be fine. Let other people also want him, Lord. Because, I don't want to just be with that real ugly guy that is beautiful to me, and everybody else is like, ooh, girl, why? So, I'm just like, let him be cute, Lord. Let him be funny. Like, I have to be able to laugh more than anything else. Let him love you. Let him be a family man. Let him be let him be able to sing, Lord. Like, I was just saying a whole bunch of nonsense.
Yes, I remember you telling me this.
Of nonsense, just throwing stuff out. The Holy Spirit filled my mouth. And then all the Lord said was, okay.
Well, I wrote mine on paper. I hope that means the same on paper as it do when I, like saying it audibly.
Probably. It wasn't my word. And I understand this was not I manifested, because I wasn't worried about that. Like, I was definitely not at all praying for a husband or a boyfriend or anything like that. I was literally focused on, Lord, fix me. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure all right, my thing literally was this. All right, you said love is coming, cool, boom. Love gonna come. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Make me ready for love.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm gonna focus on. And so I would try to date and things, and I promise God had me in an invisible bubble, because when I tell you nobody was paying me no attention at one point in time, and then all the wrong people was paying me attention at
That's
one
what I don't
point in
like.
time.
Why wrong people gotta be paying me attention?
What I don't like is why all these married people is available to be trying. I got hit on by more married people than I ever did by single men. That don't make no sense.
Girl, you know what I've been doing? This is so funny. I literally bought a ring off Walmart.com.
Listen,
a silver band for like $7, and I wear it. That still do not.
Oh no, it actually attracts people to you more, because now I ain't got to worry about you like actually wanting to be with me. Anyway, so married men, y'all get it together, married men. But anyway, but I realized, like, I said that whole thing. I forgot about it. Lord, if some love is coming, I would say out loud, love is coming. I'm going to be in a relationship soon. I already feel it in my spirit. I already know where it's coming from. Don't know, don't care. It's coming. And now, he and I we went to high school together, so I didn't basically known him my whole life. But he reached out about in 2020, and we had been, like, talking back and forth since then, and not on any type of I like you or anything like that. Just hey, checking in on you. I see you did this thing. I saw you. So it was just like, I saw you did this thing, so you did that thing. Look at this funny video here, blah 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 blah. And I was just like, okay, yeah, cool, whatever. Minding my own business. And he would talk to me over those years, and then like sometime like July or so, June or July or so of last year, he would, like, his words changed. Like, he would say, like, sweetie, or like, I remember he said, my Courtney, one day. And I was like, Wait, he liked me?
I went right over your head.
Wait,
he is like, did you say my as in like
he's
ownership?
like mine, like as in yours. Like, he likes me? I did not know that. And even then, I was just like, okay, went on about my business. Because, again, you were not, initiating anything with me. You were not making it known that you were interested. Your wording just changed. And I was just like, that still don't have nothing to do with me. I'm just going on here mind my business.
Right.
And so, we just kind of ended up, I reached out to him for once, because he usually would be always the one that does all the reaching out. And he was having some issues with his hearing or something. And I reached out to him and asked him how he was doing. And we was voice recording. And been talking to him since then. Like, it's no real Love Island type of romantic thing. It was literally, we started talking and it just didn't stop. So
listen, like I said, I'm here for it. I'm here for the relationship. As long as he make you happy, that is really all that matters. And after I saw him loosening your feet, like, I was like, yeah, that's it. Like, cause yeah, that's it. So I'm so happy for you. I just want to say that.
Oh, so you remember the thing I said out loud? The first, to God, the first time he came and visited me, we were sitting and we were talking, and I was describing to him like how I thought he was. And as I'm saying these words out loud, I had like a whole vision of me standing in the bathroom in the mirror having that conversation with God, where all of the words that I said, He was literally all of it, and I was like,
"Do it, God."
So you out here showing out.
Do it, God.
So you was showing out, like, okay, all right. Well,
God said, "I'm gonna give you what you asked for."
I said,
Okay.
now wait a minute, cause I asked, of course, because I said it out loud, but it wasn't something I believed. Like, I know I asked, but it was something that I was just like, all right, Lord, if you say you're gonna do it, I don't really see that being something that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was something that I didn't believe. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna give the illusion that He came by faith. I wasn't believing God for that. I didn't. It caught me by surprise. I believed God was able, but I didn't believe that it was something I actually could have. Mm. So, now that I'm in it and I'm seeing it, it gives me faith about other areas of disbelief where I might not trust fully.
Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm. That's good. Okay, y'all. We didn't take a lot of your time tonight, but it was worth it. I want to thank you so much for coming to my home, for sharing your words of wisdom and advice. But that will be all for Living with Lolita. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you in 2 more weeks. Thank you so much, Boo. Mwah. Bye.
Her experience has created a safe place. One time with Living with Lolita is all it will take. One time with Living with Lolita is all it will take. Living with Lolita, living with Lolita, living with Lolita is all it will take.